The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101. That's Mike Shinoda. And on the phone with us right now is Gavin Rossdale of Bush. That show coming to Northerly Island on August 7th. Jerry Cantrell of Alice in Chains and Candlebox also on this bill. So, Gavin, what's up? Thanks for calling us this morning.
Thanks. How are you? Sounds great. August 7th?
August 7th at Northerly Island here in Chicago. Now, it wasn't that long ago, less than a year ago, that you came to our show, our Ahoy show at Salt Shed. And if you remember that, that was the brand new venue here in Chicago, and it was one of the first shows.
Amazing. It was swanky. And I have some really good friends in Chicago, so anytime I get to Chicago, and I know for a fact that, because I looked, that the day off is the next day. So it's a good time in Chicago.
Elaborate on that a little bit.
I mean, you know what I mean? It's just, I can enjoy so many things go on in Chicago, and I don't get to see them in restaurants and things happening and friends that are there. And so having a night off in Chicago is unusual and like really welcome.
Yeah, well, I want to get back to that because of your basically your food Instagram page and all the stuff you do in cooking and Chicago food stuff. But this show in general coming up is so ridiculous to think that it was 30 years ago since the release of 16 Stone, and you're going back now. Loaded was released, the greatest hits album, from 94 to 2023. That just came out a few months ago in November, and just brings back not just the songs, but when you hear a Bush song from that album, it takes you to a place. And I think a lot of our listeners and remember that, like, I was here when blank, when I heard that song, and I was, I met my girlfriend that's now my wife or whatever, and I don't know how much you get that on the road when you're playing these songs.
Oh, my gosh, all the time, which is the most incredible, because we make the music, right? And you never know where it goes. When you make a song goes out to the universe and people get to hear it, it's the best sort of whatever art form in the sense that everyone just owns that song. It's their song. And I don't know, sometimes because I think it is about, like, maybe it reminds you of a time and a place. As big as that, it's like just part of people's DNA, which is like life stories and like, soundtracks to people's lives at certain points. And that's why I really like making great new music as well, because I want to honor that music so much, And so I just feel always like now I'm in the studio and I'm working on a new record, and I'm just like, I find it so, it's challenging because you want to make everything great all the time. Because you've got to keep up with all that stuff and all that quality. So it's amazing time. Gavin,
you can do it. I got faith in your body. You can keep making these hits. You can do it. I know you can. Speaking of moments like that, I was just texting with my wife saying I'm going to talk to Gavin Rossdale, and she was obviously at the show and got the blessed chance to meet you at our Ahoy show at Salt Shed, because she talked about the moments that I'm thinking of when you hear those Bush songs, the great songs from Loaded, the greatest hits. And when she was a little girl, she's related to a Saturday Night Live cast member, Sherry O'Terry. And she got to go backstage when you guys were playing Saturday Night Live with Norm Macdonald was back then.
Wow.
And so she's backstage as a little girl running around and Norm Macdonald and all of that. And then she goes by your guys' dressing room. She's probably like 10 years old at this point. And she wanted to go in, and Sherry said, go in and say hi, it'll be okay. And she didn't do it then because she was so shaking and nervous to meet you back then.
But she met Gavin last year, right?
But she met you this a year ago at Salt Shed, and everything came to fruition. And she was almost shaking the same way she was then as an adult now, as a little girl, and she didn't get to see you back then. So it all came in.
Yeah, at least we had a better conversation now, I'm sure.
Yeah, it might have been about basketball. She played college basketball, so I'm sure she was talking about that.
Dang. Any college athlete. I'm such an art jock, I love anyone who plays college sports. To me, it's just like really talented. You got to be really talented to just play on the teams, I think.
I do too.
Standard is incredible. Like, oh my God, see college sports. Anyhow, sorry, sidetrack. But yeah, full respect for that. It really that shows a lot of talent.
No, well, that leads into like you being a sports dad, because we've heard all about you being a passionate sports dad with your kids, and you actually schedule dates around their stuff, what they're doing.
As much as I can, yeah. And it was funny because I had a bit of a toss-up this last season between my kids' schedule and knowing that if I went later, I would eat into Christmas performance time. and I chose football, and then he got the lead in the play. And I tell you, like, everyone videoed it for me, and it's okay. They had it on live stream, but yeah, I'm afraid I chose the football. No one told me he was going to get the lead part, you know, a big part. I didn't bank on that, so I kind of, oh, shoot. But yeah, and that wasn't even a successful season. And this season, he's on a new team with a new coach, and he's unbelievable. He's 4-0. And there's like 3 more games to the championship. So it's just really fun. He's like wicked. I'm trying not to live through him, but it's like, it's hard. Everyone is, they watch these like 30-yard drilled passes into these kids' hands who a year ago would fall over when they got it. And this year they just can't believe it. And they get it and they run and they score. It's sort of like a movie. It's really fun.
Now, are you one of those sports dads that yells, "Hey, coach, put Rossdale in. Come on. Put him in."
Only on the inside. Seriously, I got to protect my voice. I would never shout if I really had to. You know what I mean? Like kids and crossing the road, or cars, or dogs. You know, that's going to get me shouting. But nothing else is worth it. And you know, it never works, does it? You know what I mean? I've got some advice. Yeah, well, you know, keep it on the inside. You know, no one cares what you think. So I don't shout. But I love when people do. People get really into it. The baseball, when my other son used to play, they got into it a couple of times. I mean, a couple of times, like the adults going at each other, coach and the parents, and they're swearing up. I'm like, God damn it, the kids. The kids aren't good enough to warrant this. What are you doing?
I'm just waiting for the day of the viral video of Gavin Rossdale kicking dirt on an umpire.
Yeah, the TMZ footage of it.
Yeah, the TMZ will have it.
Yeah, screaming in his face like an inch away. Yeah, no,
boy.
just on the inside.
Yeah. Well, just please do it once for us so we can show the video on our page or something. It'd be great. We're talking to Gavin Rossdale of Bush, of course. The Loaded, the Greatest Hits Tour with Jerry Cantrell and Candlebox. What a lineup. Wednesday, August 7th at Northerly Island. And the CD Loaded, the Greatest Hits, came out just a few months ago. And, you know, your other passion, we know this because when you were here, you actually gave me your phone. You opened it up to your Instagram, Eat with Gavin Rossdale.
Yeah.
And I thought of running out the door with your phone so you didn't have it back so I could just see what was in your phone.
Yeah, we want to look at your contacts. We were like, wait, Gavin just handed Brian his phone. Why'd he do this? Brian's not trustworthy.
No, I'm not trustworthy. I wanted to see the contacts. All I wanted to see for a little bit. But you were so passionate about the food.
Yeah, well, it's a fun thing I do. I got boys, they want to eat and they're really hungry. I got to think all the time what to feed them. So half the time they're with me, I got to think about that, and half the time they're not with me, I'm like, I got a night off the kitchen.
Gavin, I'm not somebody who cooks a lot, but I'm starting to get into it. I'm starting to really appreciate like high-level chefs, and so I started watching Hell's Kitchen, the Gordon Ramsay show this past year, and you were one of the guest diners on that show. I don't know what the process is like. Can you explain what it's like to dine in Hell's Kitchen?
It's just funny. You go in there and had a meal, and they cook it. It wasn't even half bad.
No, it wasn't bad. Good. It's really good to hear.
Not at all. And I've cooked live on TV for Kat Cora. I've done a few Rachel Ray, and those things where you're cooking live. That's kind of got a vibe to it. Because I'm really a relaxed cook. You know, I think it's stupid to get uptight about something that's food, and you feel it. You know, it's like holding it's like if you stand like scared with a big dog, you get like a scared big dog, you know, and if you're just like relaxed in the kitchen, you get like relaxed, good food that just, you know, doesn't have that fear in it, you know. So I'm all about that, not having no fear in the food, a lot of taste, and like cooking live on TV is a trip, though.
Yeah, well, you said, you know, that you have friends here and you like that day off in Chicago when you guys play here, when Bush plays. And is there anything in the top of your head that you go, a restaurant or a bar that you like to head to for their food, or is it just generally with your friends?
God, yeah, there's a Linea or Royster.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
There's like a twin header. That one. There's 2 nights for that. You need 4 nights for that. You need space, but Royster all day long and a Linea, you know, often.
I'm telling Case, our producer, that's a pricey meal right there.
Well, it sounds like you and I and Gavin are going to go after the show.
I think he's going to take me to dinner.
Hang out. Gavin loves us.
Yeah, I think so.
Let's go.
There we go.
It's, you know, Chicago's just like a happening place, and I always love coming to town, and we get over to, it's just, I consistently have a good time there, so always a thrill to come in.
Well, we can't wait. It is Wednesday, August 7th. Tickets available right now for Northerly Island. Bush to Loaded Greatest Hits Tour with Jerry Cantrell from Alice in Chains and Candlebox. What a lineup. And thank you for taking the time to call us, Gavin. We really appreciate it.
Hey, we appreciate you. Thank you so much. We can't wait.
Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.